Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Victory at Sea Pacific, episode number 9, I think. So, off camera, I did what I said. We initiated a lot of big scout sweeps, which is actually a fighter sweep for Task Force 17, and the other 3 groups heading towards enemy territory, or at least uncertain waters. We have them doing some sweeps as well. One thing I forgot about is the Saratoga and the Concorde here. They haven't been upgraded yet. I was looking and I was immediately noticing that there was no radar here. So I'm going to send them back to Pearl Harbor for their upgrades. That's going to take our war bonds down by quite a bit because the Saratoga, it's critical for your carriers. I mean, it's expensive, but I think this is, 19 anti-aircraft points? It's just insane. We cannot leave without it. And it'll give us an opportunity. Well, I guess the airplanes are already basically set up how I'd want them, at least with the aircraft I have at hand right now. I'm not sure I will even activate some Avengers, maybe like just a 4. I mean, they're better in numbers, so if I go with only 4, I probably am better off just putting only Dauntless, only SBDs in. So, okay, well, let's unpause and see the beautiful arcs of all these recon airplanes. Now, Task Force 17, I really got to get them back. I know I've been saying this for a while anyway, but they're long overdue. They need a nice return trip for upgrades and for replacing all their aircraft. I have kind of an issue with this scout aircraft. I actually tried to record an episode. I'm just getting over a flu now, of all things. So I started recording the episode and I had to stop, and so I was able to reload this game, and this is kind of an odd order that they're launching in. So hopefully this spotter, last time it was bugged out. Surprise, right? Sometimes these spotters gets bugged, and actually the only reason why that's annoying is because these spotters, I actually need them for spotting. I mean, to turn your aircraft carrier north, it's a lot more time consuming. It's not good from a standpoint that your whole fleet's not moving in the direction you want them to move unless that happens to be north. So, anyways, getting these fighter sweeps out. You can see a pretty big sweep from Task Force 19, also a big one from Task Force 22. A mild one from CTF Able, which only has 1 cruiser. It has 2 carriers, so we could make an enormous sweep, but I guess I still felt a little bit lazy, and I didn't want any to go right over Tarawa just because I think that they would get shot down. So this is really an argument for carrying or putting at least 2 cruisers in every carrier task force. We don't need to worry about it with the battleships. So any light cruiser should be tasked to the carriers. I don't think that the heavy cruisers even will be able to help much in any battleship engagements. I'm not sure if that's exactly true or not. They might, but excuse me. I hope I can avoid coughing too much. But so, anyways, I want to get them back. So what we're gonna do is just continue their movement south. Move them here. Looks like we did get that. Oh, thank God, we got that scout aircraft back. I've been told Dennis Avery will let me know that sometimes adjusting their height, the altitude they're flying at, can cause those kind of bugs. I'm just going to try not to do that as much as possible. It's a little bit weird to me that they fly around, they say that they're going to fly around at 2,400 meters, but they're flying at 16, which is lower than even your dive bomb, your torpedo runs. So that's, a little bit weird to me, but, and look at that, at the very edge of their limit. What a glorious sweep. And we can kind of safely eliminate any big fleets from these areas. There is a pretty big gap over here, but let's go into Task Force 17 herself and detach, I should say, the Louisville from the formation. And let's get her to do... Well, actually, we'll detach not just her, we'll also detach the Phelps, because we might need a little bit of help with those torpedo boats. And I've found that, just in general... Where are you going? I guess you're going right there. Okay. I found just in general that Destroyers are pretty terrible at anything with combat with guns. I'm not sure how the Balch will do. I think this is a Balch class. I like the look of this, man. It's nice. I mean, it has those 4 double turrets. I think they're 5-inch guns. Maybe that's the Fletcher? Well, these are... Oh, they might be 4-inch guns. And you see the 2 torpedoes. It's a good-looking destroyer. And this is also the one that has AA. So I guess that's AA. This is as zoomed in as I can go. So, anyways, destroyer leader. Good thing. It's nice to have. So we'll go take out the fleet, and then we'll take out Tarawa's defenses, and we can, again, launch our Devastators as soon as some of the AAA is taken out to kind of expedite the process. I think I'll just stay with the Louisville. We don't have anything else going on right now, so I'll stay with the Louisville until this is done with. Alright, so let's just see when she's going to get into range. She's got a ways to go still, but that fleet isn't reacting quickly, so I guess that she'll be in range before the enemy fleet engages. Alright, so probably what I want to do then is do some fine maneuvering. Want to angle this way and then angle back that way so I can use the island for defense against the PT boats for as much as possible. Poor Louisville's already lost 2. That would have been the 3rd scout ship she would have lost. Scout aircraft. Okay, so we probably are getting close. Nope, no, not close yet. Okay. Excuse me. Having the Phelps along is really going to help me. It's going to help me feel better about getting these torpedo bombers. I mean, PT boats attacking us. And I've actually, because of some of the mechanics, I mean, I might even mod this game myself for my next playthrough. There's just some things which I feel like would make the game a little bit more historical. As I was mentioning, lowering the strength of the shipborne AA and increasing or decreasing as well the accuracy of aircraft. Maybe not the torpedo bombers. They appear to be pretty inaccurate already if you just let them do their thing. So probably it will come down to decreasing mostly the dive bomber accuracy, and not by much. What I want is runs where you have nothing happen at all, which happened a lot, at least in the beginning of the war. And that's one thing that isn't modeled well. Like maybe we can make like the SPD's accuracy really bad. Okay, we're practically in range now, so this turn is probably going to be enough to take us close. Let's get the Phelps to move forward as well. Yep, there she is. Okay. Slow this down to 4. I don't know what they're going to attack. I don't want them to attack like fuel. I do want them attacking, yeah, the AAA. That's in fact the only target I really need to focus on. And I don't want to use my forward guns. Let's try to use only my rear and super firing. And it's almost nighttime, so we might end up taking more shots than we would want. Yeah, I'll use the forward guns sometimes. I don't want to use them too much, but just to distribute the load. Good. Good. Things are going well. And we've almost knocked out all the AAA, which is good. Is that the last one? Oh, where the heck is their fleet, by the way? Okay, it's getting a little bit closer finally. That's good. Sorry, I'll try to mute for that. Sorry. Got that one. Wow, we're in good shape. Let's take out their hospital and their barracks while we're at it. If there's anything that's hard to hit, I will forego hitting it. But these look like they're pretty easy targets. And let's speed up, slow down. We're almost in range to fire at the fleet, which is funny, I still don't see it. let me just use the rear guns until I get into firing range of that. The PT boats. Definitely want to destroy the barracks, though. That's a must. Got it. Alright, so that means that everything but that one coastal gun is knocked out. And I guess we should have already gotten a pop-up saying that we've raided Tarawa. Okay, by the way, here they are. Slow down a little bit. Probably the best idea for me is to let the computer handle this, because I can't, well, I guess we can kind of range ourselves, but looks like something like, let's go top down. I actually don't like top down. What about this? Let's lead them by this much and see how that does. I should have put my cursor where he started, so I would know how much time. It looks like it's gonna be right on. Well, hell, that was just about perfect. Let's try that again. Short it a little bit more. And hey, this is a primary target, so although technically our destroyer can very easily dispatch this. Oh, hey, we got a few more, so you know what? Ah, man, I almost did it. Ah, so close. And you can actually be aiming directly at these guys and miss because they're so small. I mean, if I hit exactly, if they were dead stopped and I hit exactly where they'd be, I might still get a miss. Okay, so up. The AI's first shot took care of it. Shows me what I know. If I can just borrow your rear gun, though, since apparently you're not going to use that for whatever reason. Whew, got it. I muted in time, just in time. So I was thinking about leaving the large warehouse. Maybe the hangar should take a few shots. The searchlights I should knock out just because they count for points. Like, just some of the things that I want to knock out are just to get points for raiding. So we still have not gotten the raided thing. Yeah, it says it's mostly intact. I just don't want to take out the large warehouse because we're about to capture this thing, right? So no point in getting rid of the stuff that I can use. Alright, that is the last of... Well, the barracks is the only thing I need to take out before we... Oh, and the wildcats are coming back just in time. I think that we'll go ahead and let the AI begin targeting again. So I'll just send this guy to turn. Louisville should just be firing at everyone now. And she is. Also, I've made several adjustments to the volume throughout the series. I can't really hear it. It's so weird because it's so loud on my screen. I see it showing up as very loud on the desktop audio that's being recorded, but you know, in the end, it's... Wow. Okay, they're very accurate. I'm going to let them do all the shooting. A little bit too accurate. That's one of the things I would say is that guns for ships as well should be decreased in accuracy. And probably the amount of damage you do per hit. That actually got the wrong one. Okay, so go ahead and return to formation, basically. Go back. Because Louisville's not going to have any problems with this. And really, we don't need to sit around and do any more here, because anything that I want to kill, I can always kill with dive bombers. Yeah, sure, they have searchlights and they can, like, shine their light on my... Oh, yeah, they got it done. Okay, good. That's good. Okay, so return and... Anything else I want to do? I just would have liked to take out this barracks. It's the only thing that I don't want. But hey, maybe we should leave a little bit of ammunition. What do we have? 69, 60, 96. So let's use the rear guns just a bit. Oops, got the wrong one there. How's the damage? Okay, got one hit. Let's try to take out the hospital too. Click. Okay, good. Why am I taking out searchlights? I think it lowers the amount of... I'm not sure, but it might lower the number of Marines you need to successfully land. Which is pretty petty because we don't need to worry about that. We're going to have everyone make it. I very much doubt that the enemy fleet is going to come and stop some of them. Yeah, let's get this barracks with the last one we can. Maybe one more, maybe one more. Yeah, I'm going to miss that one. We'll just take this one out. Okay, good. We got one more hit. We'll launch the dive bombers. Okay, Louisville. Return to formation as well. Oh, good. We got the 150. Attack the base in Marshall Islands. You want me to raid Marshall Islands now? Okay, well, we have a heavy cruiser en route to do that, so that's good. Let's have these guys all join formation and make that go this way. Yorktown will especially want to face north because it's time for... You know what? We don't need the Devastators. I guess, is there any chance of a failure here? Let's just get the Devastators. And let me move out of that screen because I get nervous. Looks like nothing was picked up in our little scout sweeps, which is not surprising. The enemy fleet is out there somewhere. This is very different, by the way, than my own private playthrough, where I think already by February I had already sunk like 3 major battleship groups in between Marshall Islands and the Gilbert Islands, and I had already sunk 4 Japanese carriers much after that in between Midway and Johnston. So they were going for a second Pearl Harbor, it seems. But oh yeah, so let's get the Devastators one last bit of action before we get them out of here. Their last little bit. It would be cool if they modeled pilot experience, considering they... I mean, I think... Did they model pilot experience? Okay, defensive tactician. A commander that knows when to avoid a battle to win a war can be a blessing to the navy of any nation. For 20 seconds, enemy attacks against the ship's fleet will have 50% reduced accuracy, but the fleet may not use torpedoes, and other weapons will have reduced accuracy. That's really interesting. I'm not even sure that's good. Invulnerable. Having trained the men under his command to keep the ship afloat at all costs, the invulnerable captain can fight on when he should by all rights be at the bottom of the ocean. The ship receives a 13% bonus to damage control and firefighting. That's a really good one. And then come about, we already know this one. It's going to help him turn more quickly, which could be useful in torpedo evasion. We also have the Louisville, which has come about as well. As night fighter, the captain has drilled and fought extensively using specialized night fighting tactics, making him 25% more likely to spot enemies at night. That's really nice. And all hands on deck. I've never seen this one before. For 20 seconds, the ship receives a 13% bonus to damage control and firefighting, and crew may complete multiple repairs simultaneously. Huh, that's nice. And it says the captain orders the entire engineering section to alert. Huh. Okay. Good old Phelps here hasn't done anything. Poor guy. Doesn't get experience by proxy, I guess, just being part of the group. Okay, let's get these. Let's lead them to their target. Yeah, you kind of know what you want to do. 1100, doesn't matter the height. We might as well just keep it nice and low. Just moving them this way. And mainly, I want to make sure that the barracks is destroyed, so we'll get 2 on that. And we'll get... the searchlights are not really necessary to destroy, but I'm going to anyway. And probably I'm going to have this guy just as a backup in case I don't destroy that barracks. Well, I don't like what I'm seeing here. Is there a reason why you guys are going this way? Huh. Not really sure what was going on there. Let's see what happens if I get them to do this. I probably shouldn't be looking. Just let them do their own thing. Once I zoom in on this tactical map, all kinds of bugs start to rear their ugly head. Oh, you know what I need to do? Probably. I don't think this should be necessary, but I feel like I might need to give them all different formations to give them different targets. Let's try this the reverse way. Okay, you are doing what? Okay, Okay, you appear to have responded positively to that. As in, you look like you're actually going to do it. Okay, good. What about you? If I do this, are you going to do your thing? Kind of not. I'm a little concerned. Oh, he's turning back in. Okay, yeah. Could be. And which one? Okay, that one's being targeted. Cool, we can see which ones are being targeted. That's very useful. Okay, that one's being targeted, and this one is our backup. No, excuse me. I don't know what this backup is doing. He's really off pace. Oh, that's not the backup. That's my group heading towards the barracks. I'm hoping that their accuracy at 700 is good. We'll find out in a moment. Yeah, pretty good. I would say that's pretty good. $890 war bonds because of that extra. Got it. Okay, well, go ahead and attack this searchlight and head home. And these guys are all landing perfect. That's what I want. I don't even need, they don't need to be in formation. Just do their thing. Perfect. Okay, good. Let's get out of here. Fantastic. Task Force 17 has completed. Like, we've given them so many objectives and they've just completed everything. Oh god, we have one Wildcat who's lost, but I'm just gonna ignore it. Whatever. I'm gonna go to Task Force 17. Don't know why that happened. These guys are all landing. Fine, just move away. Just do not stop. Do not cross go. Do not collect $200. Just go home. Okay, very good. They did it. And they do have a destroyer coming to help them back with radar, so we'll get that. We've got a ways to go, so we'll probably need to meet them somewhere around here. Alright, good. So everything's working out. Everything's working out just fine. Except for my voice. I feel it's already starting to go. And I don't have any hot tea. Well, we might need to do another sweep here. So let's see. Our objectives are now to raid the Marshall Islands. Well, that's definitely something we plan to do. And these are the perfect raiding party with their extremely high speed, 39 knots. It's great. And I did notice, if you want, you can micromanage the fleets to get more speed out of them. So sure, we can increase the engines by another 11 people. We can drop fire control down to nothing because I don't need fire control if I'm not firing the weapons. I probably don't. I guess the launch cooldown is nice, so. Fuel, I mean, we should be maxing this at all points. I guess it doesn't matter. It saves fuel and fuel efficiency. I'm just always want to be more efficient, but the fuel is usually not the thing you run out of, at least from what I've seen. We don't need medical. We can take that way down, because if we're not taking casualties, we don't need to stop casualty chance. Mess is always should be occupied for the morale. Navigation, I guess probably just leave it where it is. And there's got stuck there, but there's other stuff too. Yeah, turbines, ship speed. That another 7 men probably brings that up to +1 or maybe plus 1.5. I don't know. Anyway, just some little min-max things we can do. I'm not going to do them because it's a little too much for me. So go ahead and land. Looks like they actually are going to do it now. Well, some of them. Good, they're all going home. God willing, they actually land too. Alright, so mission accomplished. We've raided the Gilbert Islands. They're ready. They're very ripe for taking. We have Task Force 6. Okay, Task Force 6 needs to be upgraded. Well, just with that influx of war bonds, it's all going to be sucked away by the Saratoga, and this is the big one. Plus 19 and advanced radar, which is what I was missing. For 115 war bonds, it's worth it. That's like, that might be one of the highest AAs per war bond that you get with these upgrades. But the Saratoga, I mean, is just, it's an aircraft carrier. We would do it even if it were 10 AA. So, and the Concorde. Just one of my escorts. I'm gonna want all my cruisers fully upgraded because their main thing is AA. So for 30, I'll take it. We can see that was much less effective from like a per war bond point. AA per war bond point. It was much lower. We got a lot more AA per war bond on the Saratoga's upgrade. That's okay. Alright, so the light carrier, light cruiser. I am going to task them to move to Johnston Atoll. And the reason I'm going to do this is because they're eventually going to pair up with Task Force 17. Now, as soon as their upgrades are done, sorry. But as soon as we can now, next thing I want to do is upgrade Johnston Atoll. I want to give it the minor port upgrade. The aircraft goes up from 1 to 10, and that's going to help me pin down anything that moves towards Pearl Harbor. Now, Pearl Harbor's actual harbor, the port, it's going to take a long time to repair. You can see it's already now the beginning of February. There hasn't been, this is like more historical, my like off-camera playthrough, I guess it wasn't. Because there was so much action early on. And this is a lot more like, wow, okay, so they've woken the giant. That's the famous saying. Task Force 2, what's that? Oh, okay, so we can actually form a battleship group, I think. Wait. Okay. Let's merge all these guys into one. Okay, good. This might actually be... I think I'll drop out the light cruisers and the Pensacola and the Richmond for sure. Yeah, those are the light cruisers. And eventually these will probably collect the Northamptons for better AA. But that's a really solid task force. That's going to be our surface action group. As soon as the Maryland and the Tennessee are finished being repaired, at least. Which, it could be a while for that still. Alright, well, we're at 25x. We could go up to 100x, I guess. Alright, so we have one bugged out. Let me see if he'll land. Will he just go and land? Well, it says he will. Huh, that's good. And this is from Making a Toll, so we don't care. One thing of advice I got, which was really cool, is that I can actually build a B-17 here to bomb. It doesn't even have to be a B-17. We're close enough. This is probably dive bombing range. I'm sure it is. We could build aircraft at Making a Toll that could attack here, but I feel like that's a little bit gamey. Where would these aircraft have come from? We could have B-17s flying in, but this hold on Making a Toll is very tentative. I'm going to pretend that there's not really an airbase there. The scout aircraft is basically, it can land on the water. We don't need a runway for that. So let's kind of pretend that we can't launch B-17s from the platform unless we have at least a minor port. That's what I would say, at least. So that's the rules I'm sticking to, just despite the fact that I did not do that with the Aleutian Islands. But the Aleutian Islands would be within B-17 support range. So, alright, well, up to 100x we go. This is really, okay, before I go crazy, wait, what? Oh, the raid is still going on, okay. I was wondering what was going on that we have this raid thing, but the raid's over, folks. You can go home. You don't need to worry about the raid anymore. In fact, it's about to switch hands over to be Task Force 19's problem. So, no scouts. I was wondering about the Ellis Islands. By the way, can we just invade the Ellis Islands? I think, we can. So we can go amphibious invade the Ellis Islands, and hey, I guess we should, because more points for us, right? This is still a game. We have to treat it as like, okay, war bond increase for going to Ellis Islands. Strategically, we can think of it this way, that we're securing it from the Japanese hands. And I think that's a fair way of thinking about it. It may not be like ultra realistic, but it's something. Okay, had a bit of a coughing attack there and had to take a quick cut, but we're back rolling. Alright, and actually, since I had the moment to do it off camera, I sent out another wave of scouts, which we'll see appearing over all the usual suspects. I mean, I guess not exactly over, but from all the usual suspects, going in the usual directions as well. I mean, no surprises here. Let's just keep our eyes peeled in the most obvious directions, which, I mean, is in front of us, mostly. We don't expect the fleet to catch us from behind. You know, we expect that our travel speed, especially for these two, especially for the Portlands, but maybe not as much for the Northamptons. I guess a carrier task force, if it was insane, could actually spot us and then go on our, you know, essentially the baffles, to use submarine terminology. Anyway, we're doing a big scouting group, so we'll see if we spot anything. Haven't spotted anything. I have absolutely no idea what the Japanese fleet is doing. Normally one indicator is that islands start falling to them, but we haven't had that either. And in fact, in my personal playthrough, Ellis Island fell, which was a nice reason to go take it. I don't like taking Ellis Island, considering it's, like, I don't know, a little bit weird from like an imperialistic standpoint to go invade an island that is neutral as the United States. We'd have bigger fish to fry, but just for the, we'll just pretend that they already invaded it and took it, and we have to make sure we take it back. So, something along those lines. Anyway, so there's our scout fleets, scout aircraft, I should say. I have been relying on the Portland class Task Force 22 to do a lot of the southern naval spotting for CTF Able, but they're quickly distancing further apart than these scout planes can actually go. So just to take a peek, yeah, these guys, that's not too bad actually. That's really not too bad. This one's gonna get even closer. Oh, okay, good. So, one sec, let me drop down the volume. A new supply convoy has been created on Mare Island, San Francisco. So that's good. So that means that this group will now go about doing its thing. It has the oil tanker and it has the 4 Liberty class convoy ships. So that's pretty good. They won't carry that. I mean, 4 of these is going to carry an okay amount of stuff. What you see is the AI seems to, or the game seems to start with convoys which are 5 cargo ships and nothing else, or huge amounts of cargo ships and a few oil tankers. Oh, I mean, I guess they're doing 6 cargo, 5 oil. I did this kind of low war bond type situation supply convoy configuration. So it's the best we could do with the low war bonds we have, considering we want to upgrade Johnston Island ASAP. Okay, so we're very close to doing the raid. We're actually really close to doing a raid on Wake Island, but we probably should just park outside of Wake Island for now. I don't know what our carrier task force should do. I do want to eventually rearrange. This is not what I want my carrier task force to be. One idea, I suppose, could be I can retake Wake Island, and then it's a basic port. Okay, so it's not going to give me access to a lot of aircraft. Although I do think Wake Island had a reasonable airbase, at least some kind of functioning airfield. It wasn't just like a landing strip, was it? I don't know. Probably I just shouldn't speak if I don't know. Okay, back up to 25X though. The supply convoy thing, not gonna affect much of the game, so. Nope, don't do it. Don't you dare. Don't you dare ruin this recording twice. Alright, but this is all good stuff. I mean, I think that having finally gotten the Yorktown Task Force 17 out after a very successful run of it, pretty happy about that. I don't think that there's any signs of the Japanese fleet around Tarawa, so I feel pretty comfortable launching my amphibious invasion there immediately. Doesn't appear to be anything around. I mean, not that we did an amazing job scouting, but nothing around Carrier Task Force Able. We will be spotted, and they will know where we are. How will they react to that? I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know. I just really wish I understood what the Japanese fleet was doing right now. And them not being about and scaring me or whatever, taking territory, it's very unsettling. So, I don't know why that raid thing is still active. Should probably be gone by now. We're further away from Tarawa. Oh, okay, it just dropped off. I was going to say, we're further away from Tarawa than making the toll. So. Alright, all the scout aircraft are coming back, and you can see that even though they were all sent about the same distance away, because of our task force, the fleet's actual movement, especially the very fast one, the Portlands, the ones that were in the front got home fastest, just because we were basically catching up in the middle of their flight. Yeah, we'll probably call this episode to a close right here. I don't. My throat's killing me, so I'm just gonna maybe make this a little bit of a shorter episode. We can go 100x for a little bit. I don't feel like much happened in this episode. What? We did a raid on Tarawa. That's pretty much it. But the next one looks like it'll be a lot more exciting. First, I'll be able to deploy another recon sweep, and those are always fun, aren't they? And then we're actually going to get into invading Tarawa. And it's going to be nice to have both of those under friendly control. And if I remember correctly, we didn't destroy the warehouse at Tarawa, so we should actually have some supply there. We didn't destroy the airbase, so that should be functional almost right away. Yeah, we're the 100x, we're getting things done pretty quickly here. Okay, here's my destroyer. Task Force 2 has completed repairs. What? Oh, this is Task Force 21. Sorry, Task Force 2. Go to... Wait. If I do more info, it should go to Task Force 2. It didn't. Okay, got that one. Let's just look for Task Force 2 manually. Doesn't exist. Maybe this is, or maybe it was one that was merged into up here. Maybe it was this group that's now merged. Well, that very well could be. And are these upgraded, by the way? The Pensacola, the Richmond? Let's check. They're not. Okay. So for the Pensacola, we get 6 AA at 5 kilometer range for 45 war bonds. Of course, we're going to do it, but is that a good value? Yeah, I think that's pretty good value. So I remember for the Northamptons, it was terrible. It was like 60 war bonds for like 2 AA or 3 AA. And this is much better than that. The Pensacola is going to be a great fleet ship anyway, so we'll do it for sure. Now the Richmond is... Okay, yeah. So for the 6... For 45, that's good. I mean, that's fantastic. That's 2 for 15, and this is 2 for 30. Now this also gives 1 local AA, but again, let's be honest, Richmond, you're not going to be the target of any dive bombing runs or torpedoes. The other members of your fleet will. So it's kind of nice to look at that, though. Let's take a look at what these exact ships are. The Pensacola obviously being in Pensacola class, but Richmond is an Omaha. Okay. Well, the speed of the Omaha being 35 knots, she is immediately going to be, at least in my head, she's immediately designated towards the Saratoga and Lexington. So that's how we'll divvy it up. All of the Pensacola's will go to the Yorktown because they're the same speed. This would actually slow down my Saratoga Lexington. And then all the the Omahas will, yeah, obviously then just going into the Saratogas. The Lexingtons, yeah, that's a nice way of divvying it up, and I think we have Pensacola's and, okay, let's take a look at how many others in my head. I need to do the math. Let's figure out who's going where then. So you are, actually, you're Northampton, right? I guess you'll just be dropped into the battleship fleet. So my battleship will have one heavy cruiser with it as well. And that's fine. Basically, it's unnecessary, but where are the heavy cruisers? Where are the Northamptons going to go if not part of their own fleet? I don't know. So, then here we have the Salt Lake City, who is what? That should be a... Pensacola, yeah. So this Pensacola is with the wrong group, basically. I mean, the Enterprise, sure. So we have the Enterprise and the Pensacola. These guys will stick together, but... yeah. So we'll have to divvy those things back up, which means that essentially this is a very short trip for Carrier Task Force Able. But that's okay. So again, we'll just call this to a close here. Thanks for watching, and until the next episode, take care.